I destroyed my school and college life, and I deserve to be alone forever. I, 19M, was always lonely throughout my life. I never had friends in school and never took part in any co-curricular activities. I would be jealous of my classmates with them hanging out with friends and being able to talk to girls, so I decided that after my high school I will try to make friends in college. In college, I met a group of people who I thought could be my friends. We would talk and have fun together. We would joke about each other. Even there were 2 girls in our group, and with their friendly nature made me comfortable to talk to girls. Even there was a guy in the group who I would hang out with a lot. We would sit together and go to eat food together in the canteen or outside college. I even started talking to a girl. She was really sweet and cute to talk to, and we would bitch about our professors and at once shared playlists with each other. She was the one who asked me for my Insta ID. She would look and smile at me and wave at me. It was amazing. I thought my college life is going to be way better than my school life. But it all came crashing down. In October, me and my friends bunked our classes and went to the sports arena to play games. We were playing darts. One of the 2 girls, let's call her S, jokingly told one of the guys in our group that she would hit him on his head with a dart. So I jokingly told her that I would hit her with the dart, but I accidentally pointed at her breast. I was looking at her face, so I didn't realize it. She got offended. She took the other girl, let's call her Z, and told her everything about this. Z confronted me and started shouting at me in the sports arena, attracting everybody's attention. The sports officer came running towards us. He heard the entire story and took my ID card and told them to write a letter against me to the dean. After the letter was written, he took me and the girls to the dean, who thought of this as a minor incident and told us we are legally adults and coming to him with these petty complaints. Then they told the dean about me taking photographs of them and leaking them. The day before, I clicked S's photos of her eating a banana in the presence of our friend group. She took it very sportingly as a joke, and I uploaded them to our personal WhatsApp group. Every one of us, including her, were laughing and giggling. But she and Z told that I took them without permission. They even told that I was never a friend and I was an outsider. Dean got me suspended for 15 days because the next day our vacation would start, so throughout November I was in my home. My mother uses this incident as a weapon to scold me every now and then when we have arguments. And the worst was my crush. During the days of my suspension, I was in contact with my crush. She would even send notes of the classes of that day every day throughout the suspension. But she didn't know I got suspended. Then when I rejoined college and started attending classes, I sat far to my former friend group and behind my crush, and she ignored me. Completely. Throughout the whole day she would ignore me. That broke my heart. I was very upset and regretful for my actions. I think that my crush stopped taking to me because she got to know about this incident and misunderstood me. I have been hating myself for not respecting boundaries. Now I am all alone seeing my classmates enjoying their friendships and relationships. I think I deserve this. Story 2. My wife, 35F, cheated on me, 36M, but immediately confessed and wants to work on fixing our marriage. Where to go from here? Advice. My wife cheated on me 4 days ago. She went to visit her parents, and while staying there, she went out with some of her childhood friends. They went to a bar and had drinks. There was a guy hitting on her the entire night. One thing led to another, and she had sex with him in his car. Afterward, she was horrified and scared. She ran to her parents' house, where she started panicking and crying, and she told them what she did. 2 days ago, she came home and immediately sat me down to confess. I was already stressed from work, so hearing this didn't help. I was enraged. Somehow, I kept my rage in check and asked her to explain. She didn't hide anything. She told me everything in detail. She was crying, but not excessively. I guess she understood that tears wouldn't change anything. She gave me her phone, told me that her parents know, and said that she would like to rebuild trust in our marriage. She will do whatever she needs and whatever I want, but also that she will accept whatever I decide. For the past 2 days, I have felt nothing but numbness. We barely eat, and we haven't said more than a few words to each other. I sleep in another room, and I don't eat what she prepares. I cook for myself now, and she doesn't like it. It makes her even more sad. She doesn't go out of our room. She's mostly crying, talking to herself, or reading the internet on what she can do. Here's what I'm thinking. The easy and probably best solution is divorce. There is no trusting a cheater, and there is nothing she can do to bring back time and return to how things used to be. A somewhat optimistic but painful solution is reconciliation. She came clean on her own, willingly gave up her phone and accounts, and told the same story to her parents, which makes her somewhat trustworthy. Her father messaged me to think about it but said he will understand whatever I decide. She is ready to do whatever she needs to rebuild marriage. I thought about couples counseling, but I'm not sure if I want to go there. I didn't cause this, she did. One person destroyed this, not two. I don't know what to do here. This was the last thing I needed in my life, but here we are. Is it normal to feel nothing? Right now, I don't feel anything. It's like I don't care anymore. TLDR. Wife cheated, confessed, and is willing to rebuild trust. I'm torn between divorce and reconciliation, feeling numb and unsure about my emotions and future. Story 3. Work my hours, or will find someone who will. So, there I was, working at a mid-sized IT firm as a software developer. My team had always been pretty laid back, focusing on results rather than the exact hours we were glued to our desks. Our projects were delivered on time, our clients were happy, and our team morale was high. That is, until we got a new project manager, let's call him Dave. Dave was fresh from a highly regimented corporate background and had ideas about proper workplace management, which basically meant micromanaging everything. He'd schedule unnecessary daily status meetings, demanded we fill out hourly work logs, and insisted that everyone strictly adhere to 9 to 5 office hours with minimal breaks. One day, during one of his infamous efficiency crackdowns, he sent out an email with a new policy that all coding must be done strictly within office hours to ensure collaboration and supervision. This was ridiculous because creative work like coding often requires flexible hours for maximum productivity. But Dave was adamant, and he ended his email with, "If you think you can find a loophole, think again. Follow the rules or we'll find someone who will." Challenge accepted. Dave. I decided to comply meticulously. I coded strictly between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m., not a minute earlier, not a second later. If I encountered a bug or was in the middle of a complex piece of code, too bad. 5 p.m. means the end, no matter what. My teammates, fed up with being treated like schoolchildren, followed my lead. The results were predictable. Projects that usually took a couple of weeks started dragging on. Tasks that we could have completed in days with a bit of overtime took much longer because we couldn't capitalize on the bursts of late afternoon productivity we were used to. Our workflow was severely disrupted, and the quality of our work started to deteriorate. Dave noticed, of course. He had to answer to upper management for the sudden drop in productivity and lack of commitment, which he knew was a result of our dissatisfaction with his new policy. When upper management called for an impromptu Zoom meeting with the entire at 4:30 p.m. to address the ongoing project delays, the entire team logged in to explain our situation. In the meeting, Dave spent half an hour shifting blame and berating individual team members. He didn't even mention the 9 to 5 policy that had led to the whole situation. As the clock ticked towards 5 p.m., the tension in the virtual room was palpable, and our team hatched a plan over text. Right on cue, as the clock struck 5 p.m., one of the employees spoke up. "In compliance with Dave's 9 to 5 rule, we must log off now." Without missing a beat, every team member clicked "Leave meeting," leaving a stunned Dave to face the executives alone. This abrupt mass exit highlighted the impracticality of Dave's rigid policy, making it clear to the executives that change was necessary. The incident, quickly dubbed as the 5 o'clock Zoom exodus, led to another meeting, where Dave was publicly admonished and instructed to abolish his strict rules in favor of more flexibility. And as for me and my team, we made sure to celebrate our little victory with a well-deserved happy hour. After 5 p.m., of course. Story 4. Sister dropped out as a bridesmaid.
I'm devastated.
Tough times. I'm getting married in October and originally was planning a smaller event. My timeline is tight. I got engaged in December, but my sisters convinced me to do a bridal party and said they would be happy to be my bridesmaids and support me through the process. I formally asked my 3 siblings to be in my wedding party this month. One of them accepted knowing she would be 2 months postpartum and told me she would figure everything out. I'm very close to my sister who is pregnant, but it's been difficult communicating with her. She doesn't have any responsibilities except to be there on that day, as long as she feels up to it, and she is not attending any pre-wedding events. I have been very transparent with her that my priority is just to have her be there on that day if she can, and I expect nothing else with all the unknowns of pregnancy. I booked a dress fitting for all of my sisters based on their availability, and my pregnant sister seemed distressed at something about it, but it was unclear what. She had an aggressive tone throughout the conversation but at nothing in particular, and it was noticed by myself and other sisters. She then finally said the shipping timeline of the bridesmaid dresses was too tight, 6 weeks in advance of my wedding. It was going to be a nightmare, and she was afraid I was going to be disappointed. I acknowledged that it was tight, but there are ready-to-ship dresses available from the same vendor that she could order if she was worried about the timeline. My other sisters planned to alter within 3 to 4 weeks of the wedding, and my pregnant sister had said the same. She did not want to go with the ready-to-ship option and said she needs to be fitted, and she also complained that the price was too high. She was getting heated, so I stopped responding for a bit, and one of my other sisters reached out to talk to her, and within the next few minutes she blocked all my sisters and myself. She didn't speak to any of us for 4 days, and we all reached out to check on her, but no response. Yesterday she sends me an email. She sent me an email saying it would be best she drop out of the wedding party because she sees that I want things a certain way, and she's unable to accommodate me the way I need. She would love to support me in other ways, and it doesn't affect her love or excitement about the day. She's sorry she can't rise to the occasion of my expectations. I understand she is pregnant and her hormones are out of whack, and she is not completely herself. But I was shocked. It feels like because her exact scenario cannot be accommodated, she is going scorched earth and completely removing herself rather than working on a solution with me or even giving me any information to work with as far as how I can accommodate her. I would pay for her dress and alterations in a heartbeat should that be the actual issue. I wrote an email back saying I was hurt by the decision and asked for a phone call to clarify, which I received no reply to. There are things that I want for my wedding, but I am a relaxed, easygoing person, and I think that has been reflected in my communication to my sisters. My sister who was pregnant was a much more demanding and difficult bride, and my sisters were all very accommodating to her knowing how big this day was. I am not sure where to go from here. I'm not sure if this situation or even relationship is reparable. All I want is for all of my sisters to be standing there with me on my wedding day, and I feel a little selfish for just wanting that one thing. Am I within my right to be upset?